So hello everyone, at this point we will now proceed to the next topic dealing with the other examples of the cellular structures in which we can find the microtubules, one of the essential proteins or fibers of the cytoskeleton. Recall that microtubules can be found among the centrosomes, in which these centrosomes, as you notice in our PowerPoint presentation, they also facilitate the process of cell division. So aside from centrosomes, microtubules can be found also among the cilia and flagella. So cilia and flagella are considered to be the extensions of the cell. So let's try to write it first. They are the extensions of the cell. Okay? So cilia and flagella are considered to be the extensions of the cell. And then in addition to that, they are the locomotor appendages of the cell. So from the name itself, locomotor, meaning to say, they are responsible for the cell movement. Okay, so usually it can be found among some species of bacteria and protozoans. Okay, so this will be the main concept about cilia and flagella. So cilia and flagella consist of microtubules in which they are responsible for the cell locomotion, that is the movement, and they are considered to be the extensions of the cell. So let's now focus first with the cilia. Okay, so we have the following example for cilia. So in our presentation, we have a paramecium. So in this case, paramecium is actually one of the species that belongs to kingdom Protista. Okay, so they are examples of protozoans or protists. So you will observe that outside the cell of the paramecium, which is one of the examples of protist, it consists of thread-like structures, tiny thread-like structures outside the cell, and these thread-like structures outside the cell of a paramecium, okay, will be known as the cilia. Okay, so cilia, these are, let's say, extensions of the cell that are thread-like structures that can be found outside the environment of the cell. Okay, so it can be compared to tiny thread-like structures. Okay, so to repeat once more, these are small projecting thread of the cell in which they are responsible for the movement of the cell in a liquid. So let's try to write it first. In which it is responsible for the cell movement in a liquid. In addition to that, cilia is actually used by many unicellular organisms like protozoans and bacteria so that they can move from one place to another. So these are small projecting thread of the cell in which it is responsible for the cell movement in a liquid, just like in the case of paramecium, in which they thrive among the water surfaces. Okay, and they use cilia for the movement. So let's proceed to the functions of cilia. So at this point, let's try to discuss the different functions of cilia in a cell that consists of microtubules. So let's have the first one. Cilia can be found along with the wall of the trachea. Okay, so in our illustration, we have the trachea. Recall in your prior knowledge that trachea refers to the windpipe. Okay, so the trachea, or let's say the windpipe of the respiratory system. Okay? So as you notice, since it is a part of the respiratory system, which is also known as the trachea or the windpipe, so these are the cells of the trachea that can be found on its surface. And as you notice, we have the thread-like structures for each cell that can be found along the wall of the trachea. Okay, so these are the cilia, the thread-like structures. So therefore, the linings of the trachea consist of cells in which these cells consist of cilia. And what's the main purpose of cilia with regards to the cells that can be found along the wall of the trachea? So as you notice, this object refers to the mucus. So the mucus actually is responsible for the trapment of the debris. Okay, so these spherical bodies were actually the debris, like dust particles. So as you notice, these dust particles will be trapped to the mucus. And afterwards, this mucus that consists of debris or dust particles, okay, should be released from the respiratory system. So therefore, this mucus will move upward because it will be performed by the cilia. So therefore, the main function of the cilia on the trachea wall is to release the mucus that consists of dust particles or other forms of debris. That is why we can release such phlegm, for instance, because of this cilia. We can release the phlegm, most especially if we have, let's say, respiratory ailments in which this mucus consists of debris or dust particles. And as a result, it can move upward and it will be released out of the lungs, out of the body because of the cilia. So the cilia will help the mucus to move upward so that it will be released out of the lungs or let's say out of the body. Okay, so that's the main purpose of the cells of the trachea. So in our illustration on the right side, we have the illustrations under the microscope for the cilia of the cells that can be found on the trachea wall. So these are the cilia. And these spherical bodies will be the cells of the trachea or the windpipe of the respiratory system.